the problems.
Okay.
And you have to be respectful, obviously.
So like just another, I think, about like a flight training organization as well, like another important aspect is like the qualities the instructors have. And so so I mean most of our instructors are like very experienced, and so like what qualities do you think the instructors have that have at Ardmore that have like contributed to this institution's success for like such a long time?
Yeah, because we're 61 years old, and we've got an awesome heritage, but we've also got an awesome future. And so it's how you look at and think about the core values of your organisation. And we identify instructors very early on. And so, what are the things that really start to impress us? It's the ability to inquire, to own situations, to acknowledge situations, but always to put up your hand and say, gosh, is there some other way? Do I need some extra help? How can I go and talk openly to the more senior instructors? Are they really transparent and authentic individuals? Now, do they actually enjoy what they do? Are they passionate about their careers, about their students? Do they actually care for other people?
Mm-hmm.
No. Do they actually love what they do? And we pick those sorts of really soft skills up because everyone can. By the time you graduate from Ardmore, you can fly,
Yeah.
and you can fly well. But what we're looking for is, have they got that authenticity? Do they actually care for these students? Will they assure their students? Will they spark the student when they've perhaps had I mean, everyone has a bad flight. No one's immune from that. But do they actually care? Are they invested in student success? Are they passionate about ensuring that our students want to go on and aspire to be instructors and pilots? And do they really actually enjoy the people who are with us at the time? Because those are they're all always changing. Do they share our values?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of those sort of soft skills. And like I say, we're fortunate in the sense that we can identify them very early on, and then we're, as you know, we're just strengthening a lot of our mentorship and in integrating people into our organisation very early on, because that's how we assure safety as well. The more you share our vision and values, the more we can assure ourselves that when we go out there and fly, that the operation is safe and that you all come home. Now, all of those things, when you identify dysfunctionality, that's when safety starts to get compromised. And as you know, safety is at the heart of every aviation business. And it's about how we buy in and how we articulate that. And given that we're operating a lot across a lot of different cultures, some people don't quite. Kiwis are seen to be quite quirky by some cultures. We probably are quite quirky actually when I think about it. But for some cultures, the ability to accept that your boss doesn't always get it right, but they want to hear from you. What are we doing wrong? how are we compromising what you want to achieve? No, are we not listening enough? Are we not supporting enough? Are you not open in your communication with us? All of those sorts of things. You undergo quite a major cultural change when you come into an organisation that says, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to screw up. I just want to make sure that you haven't killed yourself, to me, or done any serious damage to yourself. I can replace the aircraft,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't replace you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to me, that is the essence of a great aviation business. When every member of staff understands that we can't replace each other,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to invest everything that all our knowledge, all our skills, all our values, all our intuitive understanding of why people behave under stress. We invest that in each other,
Okay.
and we enjoy it. It's not a weapon. It's not something to be demonized. We want you to enjoy your time here, because the more enjoyment you get out of what you are doing here at the school and all its environment, um, the more comfortable we are that we're producing great pilots.
Okay. So, if everyone, like the instructors or, someone at an airline, everyone at one particular point has to at first make a decision saying, okay, I want to be a pilot. That's where you have to begin. So, what sort of qualities do you think would make a great pilot in today's aviation landscape?
Look, I mean, clearly you've got to have a really good mind, a mind that can focus,
Mm-hmm.
but not focus in a way that it's still minute. It's got to be very situationally aware of the environment that you're operating in. So you've got to be, aware of just all sorts of different dynamics that are going on in people's lives and what's happening at the school. And you have to be able to interpret those and apply them, because, that's again what keeps you alive when you go out. It's being aware of all the threats and all the risks in your environment, and managing them magnificently. And most pilots do. So what else are we looking for? We want people who are really comfortable with our culture. It's an interesting issue, because people think our cultures are all the same. Every flight school has the same culture. Well, my observation is that every flight school has a very different culture.
Mm-hmm.
And our culture is very much one of nurturing and problem solving with the student, and committing to working through those problems, because some students have some really challenging problems. But it's about us supporting and nurturing and growing that student. Now, I'm not saying everyone succeeds here, but if they don't succeed, I don't want them to feel like they're a failure. It's just that there's something else that's out there that they will be more suited to. But I want them to go out of here understanding that they've had a great experience. So how do we think about that when we're starting to recruit? And that's quite challenging for us, because, we have 40 different cultures here, and they come from all around the globe. So how do we know that the people that are coming to us are the really quality students, the students who we think will fit? So we have an international outsource department, and Tom Parker has been working with us for about 10 years now. And he understands how Ardmore ticks, what the vibe is of Ardmore. He's seen us in our good times, in our bad times, and our recoveries, and our growth, and our contractions. And he has seen every dynamic of business in this place. And he understands at any point in time what our vibe is, and whether whether when he interviews and his country managers interview, whether you're going to fit the Ardmore vibe.
Okay.
You have to go through all of those. I know you go through a whole battery of academic tests, but really it's his assessment of how are you going to respond to having a female non-pilot running a flight training school, because that in its own right is pretty out there. How are you going to respond to the fact that New Zealand is empty relative to most countries? So, I think, are you actually going to enjoy the vibe of New Zealand and then the vibe of Ardmore? So there are it's all those soft things, the things that really make the person and create the pilot that he's testing for and he's looking for and he's interviewing for. And his team is extremely experienced. They're doing this for 15 or 16 other different schools in New Zealand. Like they recruit chefs and they do, IT people. So they are seeing a wide ambit, but he understands the vibe of the school.
Yeah. So just as my final question, just to kind of like sum up everything. So so like I said earlier, you've been here at Ardmore since 2021. So what would you like to like? What does the future of the school look like for you? What would you like to see happening?
Well, I'd like to say, gosh, if we could magic up a new school building, that would be great. But let's understand that the owners reinvest every dollar back into the school. They don't take any profits on it. It's about their commitment to the growth of pilots and growing the number of pilots globally. So they're not in it for profit. They don't want me to make a loss, but they're not in it for profit. So, the next big challenge is to really start to invest in high-tech aircraft and bridge that gap, bridge that skills gap to the airlines. Now, the challenge for me is that the airlines keep on changing what they want. Everyone thinks the airlines stay pretty. Well, they don't. At the present time, it's all about basic handling skills, being able to display airmanship and flying an aircraft. That's what they're after. And then they want to know that you've got, your instrument flight competencies. They want to know that you can work well in a team environment. And that's where all our soft skills, the sort of things that we grow and nurture and develop are really important. So, yes, we've got a major investment project ahead of us in terms of, investing in the school. But for me, it's about quality, not quantity growth. We want to have, and we have done this for a very long time now, have students who are recognised when they go back into their airline environments as quality students, not just run-of-the-mill, but students who are passionate about being great pilots and are passionate learners, and they love enjoying what they do. And for me, it's actually understanding a lot more about how I bring that passion and that enjoyment to the fore. I mean, yes, it's always going to be within this box of thinking about getting each other safe. But, how do we make sure that the next generation of pilots love what they're doing and are passionate, and they really respect their alma mater? Because a good alma maters, their good flight schools will give them good basic airmanship skills And that's what's now core and central to the way airlines are thinking about, upset recovery processes. 10 years ago, they didn't even think about those things. They just wanted a type rating and an instrument rating. And if you had a bit of multi crew experience, yeah, that was a plus. Now, what they want is just good, basic airmanship skills. They want to be confident that when things go wrong, that you're not going to panic.
Yeah.
And that you got these good basic skills that you defer to. And that's all about understanding how people react to stress. Because as long as we inculcate the basic skills and we do that well, we know that should something untoward happen, and thank goodness it doesn't happen very often in aviation, but we know that you're not going to panic. You're just going to defer to your personal settings, your default clause, the way we have trained you to react in a stressful environment. And yes, you're going to have a great ability to communicate with your captains and other co-pilots and second officers, and you're going to be respectful in the way you work in our global community. And if we can, and these are the things that I like to think are the future of Ardmore. You do the basics right. You have, you know, respect for your peers, respect for others. You're confident that you can speak up, you can speak out, and that you actually enjoy and love what you're doing.
Hey everyone, I hope all of you enjoyed that short interview with Irene, and I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Irene for taking the time out of her busy schedule and coming and attending this interview with me. And I'd just like to I'd just like to thank all of the subscribers and viewers of the show for supporting this channel. And I also have just a request to all of the subscribers and viewers of this channel to please continue supporting this channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please click the subscribe button, as this will enable me to bring more and more interesting guests on the show. And this will enable me to further grow the channel. And lastly, this episode will mark the 25th episode of this podcast. I can't believe we have made it this far. So, once again, I'd like to thank all of you, because without the viewers and subscribers of this channel, I wouldn't have been able to make it this far. So, once again, I'd like to thank everyone for supporting this channel, and please do continue supporting it in the future. Thank you.